you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How was your afternoon?
I'm losing track of time. So the day is just like one long morning blur. I don't know. It was good though. And I do like the background. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Well, thanks to my friend Heather Hess for giving me this background.
I love it.
It's so
My
funny.
background?
I've had several jobs where people have given me pictures of myself like this in a grid. And then like I put them up like, Krysten, sometimes I have over gentleman callers. And they're always like, dude, is that a picture of you in your own house? I know. It's a little much.
My background's a little boring now.
Yeah. Well, it's fine. I'll whip one up for you.
Thanks.
I'll stalk you on Facebook. I'll put together a collage of you. I'll send it over.
I need it.
Thanks so much for joining today. I'm so excited.
Me too. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So, how we get started is you get a theme song that I've picked just for you. I hope you love.
Okay.
And then we'll just jump right into it. Ready?
Okay. I hope I know it.
Okay. I think like you'd have to live under a rock not to know this song.
Okay.
Early morning.
Welcome to Jim Lanahan and Friends. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
I love it.
Wait, let's pause, Brittany. Do you have a good Brittany impersonation?
Did I just fail the interview?
No. Do you want to hear mine?
I saw her in Vegas and I saw her thing.
Here's mine. Ready?
Go.
It's so lucky. Can't stop. You don't actually ever say consonants,
Right.
You just kind of, and you place it right up here behind your nose. Not now. Like it's, horrible, horrible.
Well, then, now considering I did see her in Vegas and she didn't really sing, then I could just move my lips and it would totally work.
Well, I saw her in Vegas and somebody was not singing at all. Like,
I didn't hear nothing.
Yeah. All right, Krysten Dornick, Jim Lanahan and Friends is the same 10 questions for everybody. There's no right or wrong answers. Feel free to answer however you like. And, then they'll spur some conversations and we'll have a fun kiki, okay?
Cool, I love it.
I love it too, and I'm thrilled you're here. So question number 1. Brittany, please, Brittany. Okay, I put her on pause. Question number 1. It's the easiest question. What's your name? Where did you grow up? And where do you live now?
Okay, so my name is Krysten Dornick, and I was born and raised in San Francisco. My home sweet home. Totally left my heart there. I don't need it back though. Don't want to live there again, but I love to visit. Like it is. I loved growing up in San Francisco. I also spent some time in Laguna Beach too, growing up, divorced parents, back and forth, the whole deal. But San Francisco is definitely like home. And now I live in Newport Beach, and it's way closer to Disneyland than San Francisco.
Yeah, my gosh.
Yeah.
Except for Disney's closed, but today they reopened to Shanghai Disney. So
I know. I watched some of the videos, and I was like, I want to be there. I want to be where the people aren't. So
I want to be where the people aren't. That's so funny. I love it. You just quoted my former boss, Tony. You left your heart in San Francisco. So how old were you when you left San Francisco?
Which time?
Oh, really?
Well, just all the back and forth. I mean, I lived there most of my childhood, and then from 7th through 12th grade, went to college at Arizona, came back for a year, went back to Arizona, went back before I got married, just went back and forth a lot. So yeah. I think my parents grew up in San Francisco too, a mile apart from each other. And my one grandfather actually operated on my other grandfather before my parents met. So the city is like my family. And so a lot of my family has either passed away or left the city. And so it doesn't quite feel the way it did when I grew up. So it's still very special to me, and I have family there, but I'll just, visit for now.
I always have such a fun time in San Francisco, but those hills are rough because I'm a gay who enjoys a good shoe. It's hard in a new shoe on those hills.
I know. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love
Question
it.
number 2. Describe yourself in 5 words or less.
I love Disney and food.
Oh, that's good. Now, you are a paleo expert, a Whole30 expert, and you are gluten-free. You maintain gluten-free, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So how do you do that when you're at Disney?
So sometimes it's hard because, you know, you walk in and you smell everything that like you can't eat if you're gluten-free or paleo. But thankfully, Disney has been really great with food allergies. I mean, I have a couple food guides to eating at Disney. I have a paleo Whole30 guide. I have a couple gluten-free guides, and there's really a lot of yummy things. My favorite is probably the gluten-free Monte Cristo sandwich, which a lot of people don't know that you can get a gluten-free Monte Cristo sandwich. And then in Florida, they actually have gluten-free vegan churros, which are way better than the OG churros. So thankfully, they're doing a really good job about making it safe for people with food allergies. And the way I eat is due to food intolerances, and then I just feel better on a paleo diet or just Whole30 gluten-free, and we still like can eat great food at Disney. So they're coming along.
You mentioned you wrote books about eating. So what are your books called? Where can people find them?
So I have an ebook that is not Disney related, but I have a cookbook called Eat Real Food, and it's just gluten-free paleo recipes, and there's about 35 recipes in there. And then Disney related, I have a couple free PDFs that people can download on my website, Krysten's Kitchen, and it has a printable that, you know, when Disney opens, you can take it with you and you can see where you can get different foods in the parks.
I love that. I love that. I think pretty soon Disney will have an app for just the food, right? And then you can say, like, I feel like this genre of food, I maintain the following things in my diet. Right. No gluten, no sugar, whatever, you know?
Right.
And I think, I'm surprised that that's not already happening, but it will next couple of years.
It will. It was fun to put it together. And of course, my husband's like, oh my gosh, like this is the best thing ever. I get to go to Disney and eat everything. So it was fun to put together. I actually have a third installment of my gluten-free Disneyland guide. And then, you know, Corona I have like one more trip to go to finish it. So soon.
Oh, Corona. I never heard of her. Question 3.
I know, freaking Rona.
How did you and I meet?
Well, let's see. It is 6:08, so about 8 minutes ago. Thanks to technology. I will remember it forever. We met through Stephanie, who I actually have never met in person, and I love her. She's the sweetest. So that's how we met.
I was going to ask you how you met Stephanie.
Through the Instagram.
So funny. She loves you, by the way. She raves about you. She says that you changed her relationship to food directly.
Aww. That's so sweet. So sweet. She's, oh my gosh, I gotta say this about her. So I think it was like 2 Christmases ago, I got a super big package from her in the mail, and it was all of this vintage Disney stuff and vintage Disney Christmas stuff that I cried when I opened the box with like the sweetest note from her and her mom, and it was just so thoughtful. So now every Christmas I get to decorate with stuff that she sent me, and I'll cherish it forever. She's the sweetheart.
Wow. Nobody loves a big package more than Stephanie Laffin. Question 4. By the way, right now she hates me. Question number 4. If money, she sent me a very large package. I got on Saturday. I was like, girl, because here's the real thing. She says dead. Here's the real thing. No one loves a big package more than Jim Lanahan. So, she sent me something recently and kind of read my mind. She's a gift guru, right? She like sends you something and you're like, that is so perfect and thoughtful.
Yeah,
she's that
I
girl.
love it.
Yeah. Question number 4. If money was no object, what would you be doing today for work?
If we could add talent in there too, I grew up like listening to Broadway, going to Broadway shows. I would love to be on Broadway just one time, just like for like a hot second. My first show ever was actually Phantom of the Opera when I was 2 years old, and I sat next to Betty White in LA, and she and her friends would not stop talking, and I shushed her. I love it, but it'd probably be something Disney or Broadway related. I mean, I would love to do something for Disney, Disney food related. I don't know. I like a lot of things, like music and Disney. Put them together.
Yeah. Well, you know, I worked on Broadway shows for 20 years, and I'll tell you, being in a Broadway show is rough. You have to do that show 8 times a week for a minimum of 6 months and make it fresh every time. Whoa.
Crazy.
It's like impossible. Yeah.
I know. That's why I just said one time. Let's just
I know. Like
there.
a walk-on role. Yeah, like, you know, honestly, you know that bitch, Katie Couric? She always gets walk-on roles because she loves Broadway. And it's like, of course you loved it for 22 minutes, Katie Couric.
Of course.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. And I would love a walk-on role, but I think the perfect gig for you is to become a culinary consultant at Disney. I do think that's a dream job for you.
That's so cool. Anybody watching has a hookup with Disney?
Yeah. Oh, I know nobody at Disney.
I know people at Disney, and it still doesn't matter. It's hard to get in there.
It's hard to get your foot in the door. Yeah, at a big company.
Yeah.
Totally. Question number 5. I feel like we did question 5 already, but I'm too cute for math, so.
I don't do math.
Past or present, who would be surprised to hear that you have a crush on them?
Hey, Jeff, cover your ears. No, it's so funny. So in junior high school, I had a crush on this guy, and he knew, and like it wasn't a big secret. Like the whole school knew, and it didn't matter. We were still friends. So I don't think that would be a surprise to anybody. And I don't know about now. I mean, unless anybody has Donald Draper's phone number. I don't know. My husband and I have been together almost 15 years. This September, we met when I was 17. So I'm just a puppy.
My gosh, how'd you meet?
We met the first week of college. And I married for 9 years this September. So
congratulations. That's great.
I do have a actually funny thing that my husband said, oh, you have to say this. So I'm a huge Backstreet Boys fan since the beginning of time. And my hubby took me to see their opening show in Vegas, and where we were sitting, like Nick Carter was like 1.5 feet from me, and I like about died. And I'm like filming with one hand and trying to reach with the other, like, Nick! And my husband's next to me just laughing, and it's on video, and Nick looks in the camera and my phone and just like, are you ready? And I scream so loud, yes! To this day, my husband's like, what were you saying yes to? I was like, I have no clue. He just asked me a question. So,
so funny.
I love it.
I saw the Backstreet Boys this past summer at the Hollywood Bowl. They were fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah.
They can still sing and dance. Like, I love it.
Yeah, Nick is great. Well, Nick was always the most talented one, you know. But you know, the one I worry about is Brian, because Brian has a stress breathing situation where he can't sing because he gets so much stage fright. Yeah.
You can hear it too on sometimes you can, When I went to the bowl, it was like 2 years ago to see, what was it, Beauty and the Beast, how they have the Disney things at the bowl. And so I had met AJ at Disneyland one random day and about died. Like I was like shaking after. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in a Backstreet Boy. And so I was at the bowl and I saw that he was there on Instagram. So I did this like Instagram story. I'm like, AJ, where are you? Where are you? Oh my gosh, we get in the car to drive home. Homeboy follows me on Instagram. I die over it. And we start messaging, like, just like, oh my gosh, great show. Yeah, that guy's with talent, whatever. So for like, I don't know, like a year after, he would like watch my Instagram stories and just like, whatever. He doesn't follow me anymore, so it's, you know, not a great ending to the story.
Oh my God.
It was a nice.
If he unfollowed you, screw him. He's the
I know.
worst.
But it
Can I
was
ask you a controversial question?
Of course.
NSYNC or Backstreet? Who do you like more?
Backstreet Boys.
Really?
Yeah, because they were like my first CD. Well, Prince was my first CD, but like the boy band era was Backstreet Boys. Yeah, and they're still around. NSYNC is not.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad for NSYNC a little bit. Like, you know, they're dying to come back, and Justin Timberlake's like,
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
no, he doesn't need to.
Mm-hmm.
He does not need to.
Kelly and Michelle feel the same way about Beyonce. You know. Oh my God.
I know.
If I'm ever in a girl group, which could happen, don't laugh, I will, like, first day of rehearsal, I'll be like, bitches, straight up, in 20 years, we're doing a reunion, and if you can't commit today to 20 years from now, I am not rehearsing today.
I'm with you. Word. Like, if NSYNC came back, like, I'd be all over that. I would see that in a heartbeat. Love them. But yeah, I'm Backstreet Boys for sure.
Well, you know, recently Justin said something that everybody like went into a full tizzy over. Like, he intimated perhaps he would consider it, but the thing about Justin is his career is fire, so he's just too busy. He could never do it.
No, he does, and he doesn't need to. We just saw him for the first time in concert like a year ago. Oh my gosh, it was magic.
He's amazing. But now watch this. I ask you this. What if NSYNC went out with a replacement Justin? Like,
I don't,
you know,
like,
someone that could deliver it and was like a B+ star.
That's so hard. I don't know. Like, you could, I mean, I hate to say this, but like, he was like the lead. Like, you can replace the lead. Like, maybe you could replace, like, I don't know who in the back, but somebody in the back. I don't know. I mean, Queen did it with Freddie Mercury, and Adam Lambert is fantastic. He is no Freddie. That is like my all-time favorite band. But it worked, but Freddie's not here anymore. So I don't know. You tell me how that works out when you said that.
I don't know. I can't think who I would put out instead of Justin, to be honest. Like, I don't know. If anybody has any opinions, they could put it down there. But
if it'd be 4 people, I don't think that would work either.
Yeah, I know. Well, they didn't ask me. Question 6 is, what character from the movies or TV do you most strongly identify with?
Okay, this goes back to something pre-coronavirus. The movie What About Bob with Bill Murray. That is me. I'm a germaphobe. I saw that movie as a kid, like maybe I think I was like 10 or 11 with my dad. My dad's the same way. So we like joke with each other, like, oh, use a, Kleenex to open that door handle, whatever. So now seeing everybody else do that right now, I'm like, I've been doing this for years. So I think at least for sure, even more like it's amplified right now is What About Bob Wiley.
That's hilarious. I love that movie.
It's so
funny. It's funny how many movies had references to germs and viruses that you didn't think about.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I'm clocking all of them.
Right.
Oh, question number 7. For what reason are you most likely to find yourself on the cover of a tabloid magazine?
I don't know. I feel like if I said, like, I hate Disney, I'm never going back, I feel like at least people I know would be like, what's wrong with Krysten?
Yeah.
This is what's going on. I feel like it'd have to be something like anti-Disney related for me.
Yeah. Yeah. How many times have you been to Disney?
Well, I haven't been in the last 58 days. We were there like a week before they closed, and I was like, this is nice. Everybody's afraid of coronavirus. We got the whole parks to ourselves. I started going when I was 6 weeks old. So I was born November 10th. We went, my family and I went New Year's Eve. And 32 years later, it's my favorite. hubby and I got engaged there. It's just like our magic place. So I think during coronavirus, the hardest part about all this not going is, and it's hard to articulate this, but Disney for us is our stress relief. So when we're just stressed out or there's things are not going great, we go to Disney and we know that we can escape the world and be fine there. And so what do you do when your escape is closed? So that's been really hard. Been really hard, but a million times at least, probably.
It's been really hard. For a lot of people, that space is the beach or the gym or, I hear you. I have a dirty little secret. I've never been to Disneyland.
Click. No, I'm just kidding. What? Okay, that's going to change. That's going to change.
I have another secret. And by the way, I used to work for Disney. I've only been to Disney World once. And then I worked with Universal closely, and I went to Universal a lot in Orlando and here as well in LA. And I think I would love it as an adult, but I just haven't been. So I gotta go.
We should make that happen. I grew up going to, when I was, for a year or two when I was a baby, we lived on Hollywood and Highland. So we went to Universal Studios all the time. And we would just go for the afternoon. They had doo-wop singers when I was a kid. It was amazing. And we'd ride the tram and go home. And then even 8 years ago when we lived in West Hollywood, after we got married, we'd go there every Sunday. We'd just go there, go on the tram, go home. So we did love Universal a lot. I haven't been in 4 or 5 years, but I love old Hollywood. So I love Hollywood history, and the tram is just in your face Hollywood. So I have to get into it. And by the way, before we get too far from Disney, I saw your Yoda pancakes on your page. They're so cute. How did you make those? Oh, very carefully and messing up a few times. That was fun to make. I was like, this looks like Yoda. Sure. So, thank you. That's so sweet. Yeah. We are not super big Star Wars fans. Side note. I know. I know. We did go opening day because, put out a gluten-free guide that night. But it's Yoda's cool.
That's so funny. Well, you can say they're baby Yoda. That's so on trend right now. Be like, oh, they're baby Yoda pancakes.
Hashtag baby Yoda.
Hashtag baby Yoda. Hashtag trend.
I'm on it. I'm so on it.
Question number 8. White meat or dark meat?
Both meat. I'm give it. I What do you ask vegans, by the way? I'm not vegan.
Yeah.
But both.
I ask vegans the same question, and then they usually answer about their sexual preference.
Yeah. My mind would go there. But yeah.
Well, we haven't seen Jeff yet, so I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, Krysten.
Come over. You want to say hi to the nice people at home?
The nice people at home.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey there.
Jeff, you have a little fan club. Everybody whose last name is Laffin loves you down below.
He's my official taste tester for Krysten's Kitchen.
That's so funny. Job. Well, thank you. It's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it, right?
You know what?
It's a rough life.
Hilarious. Question number 9. What is your favorite curse word?
Okay, I don't swear much. So the thing I see the most is "Oh my Lanta," which obviously I picked up from Fuller House. So it shows you the things I watch. Hold on, it's right here in my corkboard. Oddly enough.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, I say that sometimes too much. Like if you took a shot every time I said that on the regular. Yeah.
Were you ever a swearer, or was your family a bunch of non-swearers? Like, I always think it's interesting how some people have the biggest potty mouth and some people just don't feel the need to.
I know. It's funny. So yeah, half and half. My mom's side of the family swears, my dad's side doesn't. And I think like in 4th grade, I was like, oh, I'm going to be like a rebel and swear. And like, I still remember sitting with my girlfriend, just like saying every word on this just because we could and no one was there to watch kind of thing. Yeah. And then, I mean, growing up at like going to a Christian high school or junior high, like, you know, rules.
Well, I went to a Catholic college. It was a Franciscan
yeah.
university in upstate New York called Siena College.
Uh-huh.
And it was taught by brothers. So every department had one friar, and they wore the brown robe with the rope belt. It was exactly like, think of Friar Tuck. Those people taught us. Yeah. And so, long story short, I will never forget Brother Gary, who's passed away now. I heard him drop an F-bomb, and I was like, are you allowed to do that? But, you know, they were big on, like, we're people too, you know, and like, you know, so, and it was Catholic, so they would go do their, you know, repentance, if you will, and then they would, you know, but it's just so funny. So
I love it.
Yeah, it's so funny. I love contact. That's one of my favorite things about swearing is like, and hence the reason for this question is when people do it in an appropriate or unexpected way. And I also think it's funny when people make words up into swears and they're not, like my Lanta. You know what I mean? I find that so interesting. So
I know.
Because anything can be naughty in the right context.
So true. You could replace it with anything, even a made up word, and it's the same thing.
Totally. Question number 10. What is the last text you sent, and who did you send it to?
I texted my parents to not call me because I was going to be live on Instagram. I was like, don't call me because it's
really funny.
Live. And so, that was the last text I did.
That's really funny. So explain to me how you started your journey with food in general. Like your relationship with food changed, I'm sure, when you started paleo and Whole30. And like, what was the impetus for starting all of that change in your life?
So about 10 years ago, I'd had weird health issues where like, whether it was weight gain or like just time of the month, just nothing was right with me. And I didn't really understand why. So I would do things like just have a banana for breakfast and then wonder why I wasn't losing weight. Just eating like smaller meals, whatever. So I went to a natural doctor to just see like, I mean, what can we do? And I found out I have something called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which a lot of women have. It's a leading cause of infertility in women. Most women don't know they have it, and they're just given like a pill or like medicine or something like that. So I really wanted to see if I could fix anything without medication first and just see if I could do it a more of a natural way. So I eliminated a lot of foods from my life: wheat, dairy, corn, soy, sugar, like a long list of things. And when I did that, I lost 60 pounds in 2 months. And I don't say that to be like, oh, weight loss. It wasn't about that. It was foods that were just like harming me. Like bananas, too high in sugar. They're great for a lot of people, but just not for Krysten. So this was all pre like Kristen's Kitchen. And I was at Whole Foods all the time. I was trying every product under the sun. And what's really cool about that is I was doing all this for me. So in my mind, I was like, what can Krysten eat? Meanwhile, I didn't realize at the time I was actually doing all this research for other people too, because I didn't realize that other people had the same issues that I did. So that's when I started Kristen's Kitchen, and I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I can help people with a lot of this research that I've done. This was before I knew about paleo and before I knew about Whole30. It was just about eliminating a bunch of foods and seeing what's out on the market. And it's really amazing to see the food industry come so far since 10 years ago. Now there's so many foods that I never thought I could eat again, and now like I can eat again, whether that's sweets or gummy bears or whatever. So that's really where that started. And it's on one hand, I'm like, oh yay, other people have this too. And at the same time, like, but I just don't want other people to suffer or like go through the same issues that I did. So that's really where Kristen's Kitchen started. And it's been like the most amazing thing to do this and work with brands that I love and meet other people on on social media who have helped me and taught me a lot, and really grateful to be a part of the natural products industry for sure.
Well, it's amazing what an impact you've had on people, because clearly just by looking at your page, people are like, thank you for this, or like, so your ability, you know, you're obviously fabulous and relatable, and you're, you know,
That's so sweet.
yeah, you're built for social media. But in addition to that, like, thank you for doing the work, because a lot of people in this country, myself included, we were brought up eating the wrong foods. We, you know, I grew up a poor kid in a single parent household. My mom's a nurse. She knew better, but still, we didn't always have the right amount of healthy foods in our house because of money or because of schedules.
Mm-hmm.
Just today, I discovered that I inadvertently lost, I love this story. I mistakenly lost 10 pounds since quarantine started, but it's
Wow.
because, well, it's just because I live in my car. I'm a caregiver for a parent who had a stroke. I eat the wrong foods. I eat too much of the wrong foods. I just started cooking for myself. I dropped 10 pounds. Our relationship with food in this country is so cuckoo, whether you're eating too much, not enough, the wrong food.
Right.
So
I
the work
agree
you're
with that.
doing is really important, Krysten, and I just want to say
Thank you.
thanks.
That's really sweet. I think the thing to note too is like everybody has a different food journey, and what's right for me may not be right for you or other people, and that's just me just sharing my journey. I think there's obvious things that like I can safely say that McDonald's is not healthy for everybody, or like soda is not, like I'm drinking, this probably looks like soda, it's a bubble water with coconut in it. Like soda is not good for you, or sugar is not good for you, or you know, there's hidden sugars and things. But I think like a lot of what I've been trying to do is find healthier alternatives so people can still enjoy the things that they miss, whether you don't want to eat those things anymore or whether you can't. So a lot of what the recipes that I've created are actually old family recipes that I grew up eating that I can't eat anymore because they aren't healthy for me personally. And so I've just found ways to like healthify them, if you will. So instead of using like a whole bunch of butter or margarine or whatever my grandmother used, or cane sugar, which I can't eat, I'm trying to figure out ways to help, eat it in a better way. And I think everybody can use just like encouragement in the kitchen. Like right now we have to be in the kitchen cooking. This is not new to me, but I do know it's new to a lot of people. And so I really try to find easy recipes for people to just kind of encourage them to get in the kitchen and experiment. And that's really how I started, was just guessing in the kitchen.
Yeah. There's a few recipes I want to try on your page. You did a cookie butter by crushing up cookies and using, by the way, I looked at your page. You look surprised. I'm obsessed with your page. You also have a 3-ingredient cookie bar that I want to try because it looks good, but I'm a type 2 diabetic, so I think I can make it work with my sugars. So yeah. And what's funny, and this is and then I'm going to stop complimenting you, but
no, keep going.
But as a type 2 person who's not, like, I wouldn't consider myself as adhering to a paleo diet or a Whole30 plan, but I am a type 2 diabetic and I watch my sugars fiercely, and I cheat. I'm careful with how I cheat, though, that's the trick. But I'm finding a lot on your page that works for me. And I think that's really like one of your best attributes, because I was like, here is a gal who has figured it out for herself. I instantly like her. And even though I'm not exactly like her, I'm not Krysten Dornick, I can find stuff on here that works for Jim Lanahan. And so I think that's part of what makes your page so accessible and fun.
Thank you. That's really sweet. Yeah, for me, honestly, too, I need to watch the amount of sugar that I intake through honey and maple and other things too, because it doesn't do well with PCOS. So I've been, so grateful to find companies like, there's this one, I don't know if you've heard of it, Smart Sweets, and they make gummy bears and Swedish fish and peach rings and all this stuff that I can't eat anymore, the real stuff, nor would I want to because of like the ingredients. But now we can eat candy essentially and not worry about the fact that, it has all this sugar. And when you see like there's hidden sugars in everything, it's like crazy. So I try to do all the research so that you guys don't have to, and I can help you guys find whatever you need. So that's really where
Yeah.
I started and what I love to do.
And you also just make it fun. Like when you did your stack, you called it a Thai turkey burger cake, but it was a stack of like turkey patty and I think a mash was in there.
It was like a mashed parsnip or mashed
Yeah.
potatoes.
You also just have fun with the food. That's really important, because for many of us who feel like we're on a restrictive diet, it gets really boring really quick,
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Well, I love it.
I
I love
boring.
it. There's a bonus question.
Mm.
What's your favorite part about Krysten?
Oh, my favorite part. I would say it's my favorite part, but it definitely has its strengths and weaknesses, as does everything. I really care hard, and I love hard, and I think it's the bad part where it's gotten me in trouble is when I have to realize that not everybody's like that, and that's okay. And I don't say that to be like, oh, I'm so great, but realizing like when you find a relationship, friendship, or like with my husband, like we put in the same amount. So finding a friend that puts in the same amount of care and effort into the friendship, like that's been so amazing as I've gotten older. But it's definitely the weakness side of it is just that I give everything all the time and sometimes forget to either care, like put me first too a little bit. But I definitely like really love hard. And I think the hard thing with quarantine is, I see other people hurting or going through stuff and I just cry because I feel like I'm helpless, like I can't do anything. Yeah. So it's a good thing, but also like I cry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sometimes all you can do is cry, and the best thing you can do is cry because it's your reset, and you wake up stronger the next day. So I hear you. It's okay. Living Clean with Christine said you are the most caring person she knows.
I love her. I love you, Christine.
Yeah. All right. Guess what? You did it! Krysten Dornick. Oh, I really ripped it out. So tell everybody where they can find you. Obviously here on the gram at Krysten's Kitchen.
Yes, at Disneyland when we reopen. And,
amazing.
I'm at Krysten's Kitchen on everything. Pinterest. Do people still use Pinterest? Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all the things. And then Disneyland when we reopen, I'll be there.
I love it. I love it. Thanks so much for chatting today. It was really fun. I'm going to try 3-ingredient cereal bars right now. I think they look so good. It reminds me, sometimes when I was little, I used to cheat and make a Rice Krispie treat, but we didn't have Krispies, so I used Cheerios. That reminds me of that. So, love it. Love it. I love it. I love it. All right, so have a great night. Thanks to Jeff for letting us borrow you for a few minutes. And we'll talk soon. In real life, hopefully, you and me at Disneyland.
We're going to Disney. I
would love it. I need a personal tour. Ah, so cool. That's awesome. Well, yeah, you know how I am about my iced coffee. All right, honey. Mwah, bye. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.